Recently, I've been talking to so many people who are interested in starting a box truck business. If you're watching my channel, you probably are thinking about starting a box truck business, or you already have and you're just looking for some more information. Maybe you're trying to grow your business. Maybe you're trying to get a semi-truck. If that's you and you want to schedule a consultation with me, click the link in the description. I'd be happy to help. I'd be happy to work with you. I talked to this guy about starting a box truck business. He's down in Louisiana. This is his first time in the business, and I talked him through buying a truck, all the equipment he needs, the keep truck and ELD, the gas card, the fuel card, the credit cards. I did try to warn him that the freight market is declining right now. We're potentially seeing a recession. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but you guys already know this. Rates have definitely dropped. So if that's you, just keep grinding, keep hustling. Don't give up on your box truck business dreams. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do.
Hey, this is Zach Pescarello. Good, how are you? Yeah, absolutely. What do you got going on? The best truck to buy, right now I'm using an International 4300, which is not the best truck. I would say apart from the truck itself, I think the engine probably matters most. But like you said, Hino, Freightliner, International, Mack, Ford, they're all fine. Like, they're all good trucks. The biggest issue right now is just how few trucks are actually available. So if I were you, I would not make your search so specific that you're only looking for an International. If I were you, I would make your search a little more broad and just look for all the trucks. So I would focus more on the engine, the year of the truck, and the number of miles the truck has. Like, if you found a 2018 Hino for a good deal, I would take that over like a 2014 International with more miles on it. Reefer versus dry will always cost more. High risk, high reward. It's going to cost more for insurance. The truck's probably going to cost more. You're going to spend more on maintenance. You're going to spend more on fuel to keep the reefer running. And you're potentially going to have more breakdowns, and there's more specific regulations when it comes to the temperature of the box upon delivery. So like, if they take their thermometer and your box is 1 degree off, there's potential they're going to reject the load. So high risk, but the loads do pay better. I mean, the risk and the reward is probably pretty consistent across the board. So really, it's up to you. Like, if it's your first truck, I don't know if necessarily a reefer is a good idea, just because it'll be more complicated, but you definitely can make more money with a reefer. But I mean, unless you have your heart set on a reefer truck, I would probably, if it were me, I mean, I didn't buy a reefer truck. I would not buy a reefer truck, but I know I've talked to a ton of guys who have had a lot of success with reefer trucks, but there's just more risk associated with it. So man, IRP apportion plates, that is such a hotly debated topic, and you're right, I struggle to get a straightforward answer. The only thing I will say is that I've been running my box truck for the past year without apportion plates, and it's been fine. Similar to you, everywhere I've looked, everyone says you only need apportion plates if your truck is a CDL truck, and our box trucks are obviously not CDL trucks. So we definitely don't need IFTA. We definitely don't need heavy vehicle use tax. I don't think we need apportion plates. I mean, I would not stake my life on that claim, but I'm like 96% sure we do not need apportion plates. I'm 100% sure that IFTA is not required for non-CDL trucks. Yes, so your fuel card, if I were you, I would have your fuel card connected with your factoring company. I always recommend RTS and OTR are two good factoring companies. You're going to hear bad reviews about every single factoring company, but I've heard more good things about RTS and OTR than any other factoring company. And I know for a fact RTS partners with Pilot Flying J. I don't know who OTR partners with in terms of fuel card, but the benefit of combining your fuel card with your factoring company is that almost all factoring companies will give you a better rate on your factoring if you also use their fuel card. So it just makes sense to use the fuel card associated with the factoring company. My insurance agent is like an independent broker, and he does work with Progressive, but he also, he told me he shops around at other insurance companies. I used Progressive for the first year. I'm pretty sure almost all trucking companies use Progressive in the beginning. From what he told me, after year 1, years 2 and 3, more doors start to open, you can find potentially cheaper options. But for the first year or two, Progressive is going to be your go-to. And if I were you, I can send you my insurance guy's information. You can go to Progressive directly, but there's no real downside to using an independent agent. Like, he'll be able to get you what you need. Everybody needs an ELD. The only time you don't need an ELD is if you stay local, within 150 air miles of your address. I don't know anything about Verizon and their ELD. I use Keep Truckin', and that's what I see a lot of other owner-operators use. Yeah, Keep Truckin', but they actually just recently changed their name to Go Motive. So if you go to gomotive.com, you'll be able to get an ELD for $40 a month and a dash cam for $30 a month. And there's a lot of cool features. I installed it myself. It's fairly simple to install yourself. All you do is you just plug it into the computer, like on your truck. Like, it's really basic. You can look up a couple YouTube videos and figure it out. Yes, so the decals on your truck, there's two things you can do. You can get them applied directly to the doors on your truck, but I wouldn't recommend doing that for two reasons. That's going to be more expensive, and it's going to be more difficult to switch trucks or to take it off or to change it. What I did, you can go to vistaprint.com, or you can find any local sign company, but vistaprint.com, and just get door magnets. I got 2 white door magnets with black letters, like you said, 2 inches tall. I got the name of my company, my DOT number, and my MC number for $30 each. I don't have the weight or the VIN number on the door of my truck. No, the weight, the gross vehicle weight, and the VIN number should be on the inside of your door. Like, whenever you open up the door, there should be a little thing. That should already be there. The manufacturer would have put that on there for you. Yes, so 26,000 pounds is the total weight of your truck plus everything inside of it. So a typical box truck weighs like 15,000 pounds. So almost all box truck loads, almost all non-CDL box truck loads are like 10,000 pounds or less. That's pretty standard. Well, not necessarily. So what you need to do is you need to weigh your truck. So get your truck, fill up both gas tanks, put your pallet jack in there, put your dolly in there, put all your straps, all your equipment. You yourself go in the truck and go weigh it. And then once you get the empty weight of your truck, then just subtract that from 26,000 pounds, and then you know exactly how much you can take. And then always err on the side of caution, minus 500 pounds just in case. Yeah, first of all, how do you find a driver? It's incredibly difficult to find a driver. Hiring, managing, and maintaining good employees is the hardest part, not only of a trucking business, but of any business, right? So that's the hardest part. But if you've already got a couple guys in mind, the going rate to pay your driver, you can pay him 2 different ways. You can pay him miles, or you can pay him percent of revenue. I started off paying my driver per mile, but it just became too much of a headache because there's so many different variables. There's loaded miles, from pickup to delivery. There's deadhead miles from delivery to the next pickup. And then there's just like everything in between. So what do? Do you pay him just loaded miles? Do you pay him loaded plus deadhead? Do you pay him total ELD miles? Like, there's so many questions. There's so much gray area. So I actually don't recommend doing that, especially with a box truck. With a CDL tractor, totally different story. But with a box truck, I don't recommend pay per mile. I recommend pay percentage of revenue. It's so much more simple. It's so much more straightforward. And 25% to 30% is a good number for percent revenue. Yeah, so yes. Basically, it depends on if you're going to go over the road long haul or if you're going to go local. But if you're going to go over the road long haul, I average $4,000 per week. So if you pay your driver 30%, that's $1,200 a week. That's pretty good pay. From my experience, if your truck goes long haul over the road, your driver is going to make more money, but you as the owner, just once again, this is just my experience, but I was actually able to make more money as the business owner doing local deliveries than I was over the road deliveries. But your driver's going to make less money. So like, I was paying my driver to do local deliveries like $850 a week, and then I was paying him like $1,200 a week to do long haul over the road stuff. Just because he's out away from his family and friends, he's staying in hotels. It's just harder work. It's more hours. But doing the local deliveries was actually more profitable for me as a business owner. But it's also it's almost like it's really difficult to find a dedicated route. So if you can find one, good for you. But what you're probably going to have to do is like door-to-door delivery. So you're going to have to do like big appliance delivery. But I caution you, try to stay away from in-house delivery. That just opens the potential for so many complaints and lawsuits. And like, if you damage someone's refrigerator, if you install a washing machine incorrectly, it floods their whole basement. Try to stay away from in-house delivery, because that's also usually a 2-person job. But if you can get like for Lowe's and Home Depot, just like door-to-door delivery, like delivering big boxes, then you'll probably make like $550 a day. You pay your driver 30%, $165. He's only driving 200 miles a day. You could end up making like $500 to $700 a week doing something like that. Everybody needs a DOT medical physical. This was my experience with Amazon Relay. First of all, it's 2 a.m. to 8 a.m., which is pretty bad hours, but it's a relatively short day, but you're only going to make $400 a day. So you as the company is going to make $400, which means if you pay your driver 30%, that's only $120 a day. But if it's 6 hours, that's not a terrible job, especially if it's for like some young guy who, maybe likes to party at night or whatever. But you can run it 6 to 7 days a week, so that's not bad. So you could make 100, 130. Your driver can make 100, $130 6 or 7 days a week. It's really not that labor intensive. Like, you're just moving pallets and small boxes to the post office. You can pick up and quit Amazon Relay as much as you want. Revenue, yeah. Amazon Relay is a good backup plan, a good last resort. Yes, get a 26-foot box, nothing less. Get a lift gate, and don't overpay your driver in the beginning. I overpaid my driver way too much, and that killed me in the end. Yeah, 25%, 30% revenue at most if he's really experienced, but maybe even start him out as low as possible, and then you can go up from there. If you start him out too high, you can't go up, and then employees like to get a raise. Make sure you get a business check. You own the ELD from Keep Trucking once you buy it. No, the equipment doesn't cost anything. You just pay $40 a month. You actually pay you pay $120 every 3 months. But I think they lock you into a 2-year contract. I hope to get another truck, but I don't know if you've been paying attention to the market, but the freight market's kind of declining right now, so it's pretty tough out there. I do plan on getting another truck this summer as soon as possible. How do you pay yourself as a business owner? That's a great question. You don't need to put yourself on payroll, first of all. Second of all, just anticipate making $0 the first 3 to 6 months. With that being said, obviously you hope to make money, but just go into it thinking this is an investment. I'm starting a company. I'm not going to make any money for the first 6 months. Just go in with that mentality, and then you won't be disappointed. And then third, if you want to pay yourself, very simply just set up ACH direct deposit from your business checking account to your personal checking account. Or you can old school write yourself a check, but I always, just skip the check and you can transfer the money for free straight from your business checking account to your personal checking account. You can do it once a month, once a week, once a day, once a year, as often as you want. Yeah, a couple things. Last thing real quick before you go, just a couple bullet points. Make sure you apply early because these things take a long time. If you haven't already, a business checking account, Easy Pass, get a business credit card if you can. It's not much, but you'll get 2% cash back. I always try to pay for things with my credit card first, and then if they don't accept Visa or American Express, then you pay with a check or a debit card. No, it was, as long as your credit score is above 700, you shouldn't have any issues financing a box truck. Yeah, you shouldn't have any issues. That's another thing. I recommend bank with someone local. Find like a small local bank. Build a really good relationship with them, and they will be the ones who hopefully give you a loan, and then after a year or two you'll be able to get financing for more and more trucks. But build that first and foremost. It's so important. Build a relationship with a bank. Start looking for a truck sooner rather than later, because it's going to take you probably 2 weeks to find a truck, and then once you find the truck and once you call the dealership and say, hey, I'm going to buy this truck, it's going to take 30 days for that truck to be ready to be driven off the lot. So it always takes a little bit longer than you think. I mean, if you're flying to Florida right now, I would make sure you call the dealership and say, hey, if I like this truck, is it good to go? Because a lot of times they'll say, okay, hey, we need to, you probably want the dealership to run it through a federal DOT inspection first. So just ask if it's good on inspection. Ask if there's any maintenance or repairs that need to be done to it. But yeah, I mean, if you can fly down to Florida, pick out a truck today and drive home tomorrow, that'd be awesome. You will not need you don't need to stop at weigh stations. You don't need to put decals on your truck. If you're just driving it empty from the dealership back to your house, you don't need it. It's not a commercial vehicle just yet. It's just, don't worry about that. Yeah, order the Easy Pass, order the Keep Trucking ELD, and just do those things. Get a credit card like sooner rather than later, because all those things take a couple of weeks to get processed. So